Everybody, welcome to Go Be Great with Coach Karena. I am your host. I am your mindset and life coach. And today I have an awesome young lady on the show. And so I just want to open up with a very warm welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you all are in this amazing world. So I just want to go ahead and jump right in. Tell us your name. Tell us where in the world you are currently and tell us what you have going on these days.
Well, hello. My name is Shalamar Parrish, and uh, I am in Lexington, Kentucky right now. It's hot as I don't know what right now in Lexington, but I am an author and a clothing designer, and I am a foster care and human trafficking advocate.
I love it. You have your plate absolutely full, and it sounds a lot like you are truly dialed into your purpose, into your calling.
Mhm.
And I just want to say, I want to honor you. I want to take space right now. And I want to say that I honor you in that simply because it can be extremely difficult to lean in that heavily, to really move the needle and do what you've been called to do to that magnitude. So, Shalamar, welcome to the show. Welcome. And thank you for all that you're doing. So, you said it's hot in Lexington.
Yes, it
I try not to watch too much news, but I
is.
did see last week that a lot of the United States was in a heat wave. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
so I'm in Richmond, Virginia. And I
Okay.
like to tell people that Richmond, Virginia seems to have, um, and I'm not making light of, mental health or anything, but it just does not, it cannot decide what it wants to do. And I'm like, you keep going back and forth. What in the world? So I completely understand that heat that you all have going on. So, Shalimar, talk to us a little bit. I really want to dive into this clothing line. I'm intrigued. I love to see beautiful pieces that have been designed or brought forth by specifically Black women, simply because it is something that we don't see mainstream. So, talk to us a little bit about how you got started with bringing forth your clothing line. Tell us the name of it and how we can get to it first, and then tell us how you got started with that.
The clothing line is called Today's Woman. It actually starts with the number two, DAYZWOMAN.com. And the reason why I even started the clothing line is I can remember being 14 years old and I'm seeing all these young women wearing kind of slightly revealing clothes and older women being upset about it. And then I started to research the liberation of women. And so I said, well, they're wearing, what they feel free in. And so I said, I want to start a clothing line that makes it um, okay for a woman to wear whatever she wants to wear because it was a time that we couldn't do it. And so I started Today's Woman, beautiful since the beginning. There's a slogan that I came up with that says, Today's woman is beautiful, educated, motivated, dedicated, opinionated, only because she's liberated. I am today's woman. And so that started the journey with the clothing line. And so what we do is for each item that is sold, we donate an item to women who have suffered from human trafficking or who's homeless.
I absolutely love that. And I love the slogan. I love the motto. It sounds like your mission is really touching women worldwide. And that's really a part of being, and I talk about this a lot here on the show, being your authentic self, dialing into your purpose, and really knowing what you've been called to do in an extremely unapologetic way. And it may not necessarily be what other people would want for you, but if it's your
Mhm.
calling, You got to live it. If not, it's going to keep calling to you and you're going to be unfulfilled. So, talk
Yes,
to us a
ma'am.
little bit about, was there a time that you felt unfulfilled and then absolutely knew that, I've got to start this clothing line. There's just no way around it.
Yes, I was in foster care for 7 years. And so, yes, there was a lot of days that I felt unfulfilled, lonely, depressed, hopeless. But I held to the values that was instilled in me since I was a kid, and that was to lean on God. And so what I did was I started writing. I don't know if you know, but I'm an author as well. So I started writing my book called Leading Lady, just to make sense of my life journey. And so when I started writing that book, it actually was therapeutic, and it became fulfilling, And then I said, well, this book it did what it was supposed to do for me, but there's a lot of other people who have gone through what I've gone through, or who may be going through what I'm going through, or who may just want to know about people like myself. And I said, this book should be shared with the world, and so that started my journey on writing, and you know.
I love that. I love that. And I see that you have behind you Leading Lady, which you just mentioned is the name of your book. And and you said that it was very therapeutic. And I think a lot of times people don't realize the calling that they have. It's for them and it's also for others. And so
Mhm.
when you're able to do that and really lean into that, it's multifaceted and it begins to really touch in so many areas that we absolutely could not fathom. So tell us where our listeners can find the book Leading Lady.
You can actually find Leading Lady on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Um, yeah, Amazon and Barnes and Noble. They actually have it at Walmart as well. So it's a couple of places that you can find it. Even if you Google it, it's there on Google Play. So
Okay, awesome. I absolutely love it. You have really been busy. That is a
thank you.
testament to, the resolve that you have. And this is
Thank you.
why I absolutely honor you and what you are doing. So
Thank you.
now I would like to, so we've talked about the clothing line that you have. And so tell us one more time the website. And please remember, folks, you know how we do here at Go Be Great. We do have clickable links in the show notes. So if you don't catch it, or if you're writing too fast, maybe you're driving when you're listening to this particular episode, whatever the case may be, just remember you'll be able to really go to those clickable links in the show notes. So, Shalamar, tell us one more time the website for your clothing line.
It is www dot the number two DAYZWOMAN.com. And can I share one thing about
Absolutely.
the clothes and the book? Both both the proceeds from the book and the clothing line also goes to help the causes for foster children, whether that means just some extra allowance, or I really want to get into purchasing suitcases for them, because I remember a time that when I was a foster kid, we used to have to carry all of our treasures in trash bags. And
Mm,
when I became a foster parent, it was the same thing. I was seeing kids come in and out with trash bags. So uh, that's why I'm really passionate about these things. It's because I really want to try to see about the needs of foster kids a little more.
I love that. I love that. Having been in a specific situation, knowing what the gaps are, the voids are, and what that need is, and then becoming strengthened, undergirded, and then providing that same um, thing that's needed. So I absolutely love that. So now let's talk about the advocacy that you are embarking on, the trafficking. I do want to get into that as well. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Okay, with the trafficking, a lot of people don't know, but a lot of foster children end up being trafficked,
Mm,
whether that's why they're currently in foster care or just as soon as they are released from foster care. You know, a lot of them don't have family or the shelter of foster care anymore, and so they tend to meet up with the wrong people. And so
mm,
I want to try to help these kind of children and adults um, find another way, whether that means they need housing, whether that means they need some job skills, um, some support emotionally. I want to try to get as many of those people who are involved in human trafficking now um, back home safe.
mhm, mhm. And so, what have been some of the steps that you've taken so far to help with this particular situation that is plaguing our people, our young people?
Well, I go out where some of them are, and we feed them. We give them toiletries. We give them uh, resources as far as like numbers to call
Mhm,
if they're ready. Some things I can't share
mhm,
on online, you know, due to their safety and my safety.
mhm.
But we do that. We give them clothes in the wintertime. We go out there. We give them warmers, hats, gloves, scarves. So that's basically what we've done so far.
Absolutely. So, if someone, Shalamar, if someone wanted to maybe donate financially or with goods, is that something that you offer?
Yes, but right now what we're doing is we're going through the United States human trafficking. Um, I can give you the link for that. We're going through
Okay.
them, and if they donate, they can donate through them, and then they delegate the resources to us.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that because that creates that level of accountability and
Hmm.
knowing that, it's a legitimate operation and that you are absolutely doing what you said you're going to do. And that
Hmm.
creates that level of trust. So again, I am absolutely honored to be on this
Thank you.
episode with you today. To see this and to hear this, just absolutely amazing. Absolutely
Thank
amazing.
you.
Um, so if someone wanted to partner with you in this, maybe they were in your area and they hear,
Hmm.
the advocacy that you're bringing forth, and they wanted to go out with you, are there steps and measures that they would have to take? And I know you said that uh, due to privacy there's not a lot that you can share. Is there What are the steps? Let me just say that. What are the steps that they would need to take if they wanted to link arms with you?
Well, they would have to go through the courses because there's actually courses that you have to take. And again, I will give you the link for that.
Okay.
They would have to actually go through the United States Institute for Human Trafficking to
Okay.
get involved with what I'm doing. But some people just rather work by themselves. And if
Hmm.
that's the case, as long as they keep themselves protected, they can hit the hot spots. And
Hmm.
if they're in this area, I'm pretty certain they know where the hot spots are
Hmm.
because it's so different from just a regular community. And so they can actually go out there, and I wouldn't suggest that they go out there by themselves though, but they can go out there and just let the ladies know who they are.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And I find it interesting that you said there is an institute, United States Institute for Human Trafficking.
Mhm.
I was not aware of that. So that is
Mhm.
actually very comforting, knowing that there are parameters in place to actually help those who are being victimized, because it's not just, and certainly nothing against anyone going out on their own or anything like that, but it sounds like this is something that, again, it's seen to be a very true and real prevalent issue. And so there's measures being put in place to actually help uh, really resolve this phenomenon that's going on, where people are being trafficked, human beings in this day and
Yeah.
time. You know,
Mhm.
um, it's very sobering, extremely
Mhm.
sobering. So I just want to say hats off to you, Shalamar.
Thank you.
Amazing work that you're doing. And, I want to check back in with you from time to time just to see how things are
Sure.
going. And I want to thank you for coming to the show today. This has been a true eye opener. I love all that you're doing with the clothing line, with actually being a foster care mom, family, for others. The book that you've written, The Leading Lady, which is actually helping people out there as well. And then the human trafficking advocacy. So,
Mhm.
you're bringing that trifecta. And so, again, thank you so very much for all that you're doing. Any last words of wisdom you want to leave with the listeners?
Yes. When I started on this journey, uh, again, I wanted to make sense of, is this my purpose or not? You know what I'm saying? Well, I ended up going to the Bible, and did you know that it's 100 scriptures in the Bible about God taking care of the orphan?
Mm,
Well, the only way that He can do that is through people like us. And so a lot of people forget about this commandment or they overlook this commandment, but this too is a commandment delegated by the creator of all things for us to do. And so I don't want to put pressure on people to get involved, but there is other ways to get involved besides being a foster parent or being an adoptive parent. You can volunteer your time. You can donate. Um, Resources, gently used clothes, uh, gently used beds, anything. You can become an advocate. There's just other ways to see about these children. You can pray for them. There's other ways to see about them, but it is our duty to get involved.
Shalimar, I'm really thankful that you brought that up. One of the things that my husband and I pray for on a regular basis is the fact that people are not aware that when you talk about, people talk about the Bible and they talk about Christianity and they talk about religion. Well, the Bible actually says that true religion is taking care of the widow and the orphan. And
Hmm.
so when
Hmm.
you actually do that, that is when you are encompassing what Jesus has talked about.
Hmm.
So thank you
Hmm.
for bringing that to the forefront. It's one of, like I said, my husband and I, one of our favorite parts, because that is what we want to always bring forth. And so, again, I want to repeat that true religion, and you can go and Google this. Those that are listening, go
Hmm.
and Google this. The Bible says that true religion is taking care of the widow and the orphan.
Hmm.
So if you have the capability, yeah, let's bring forth true religion. It's not about certain services. It's not about certain denominations. It's not about these specific things that are brought about by man. It's what the
Right.
Bible says, taking care of
Right.
the widow and the orphan. So,
Yes, ma'am.
Shalawar, thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank
You are
you.
very welcome. Folks, we have had absolutely another amazing episode of Go Be Great with Coach Karena. Shalamar Parrish is actually here. She's gone and been great. And she continues to go be great. So thank you again for listening, everyone. And I will see you all on the flip side.